hiring a prep center is something that you will have to do if you want to bring your Amazon FBA business, your online arbitrage business to, I would say, a medium scale. Not huge scales just yet, because I do not want to use this term scaling like just like this, but to reach a certain level, you will have to hire a prep center, right? It's going to be the easiest way to do it. And in my opinion, this is one of the benefits of running online arbitrage. Now, there's a couple of things that you need to understand if you are going to start working with a prep center, and this is what we are going to talk about in today's video. The most important thing that you are going to need to deal with when you work with a prep center is how fast they are going to be able to actually ship your inventory. And there's going to be two types of prep centers, each coming with their pros and their cons, right? So this is what I'm going to explain in today's video. Before we do this, my name is Chris Mangunza with these daily videos about selling on Amazon right here on YouTube. So if you are new, like this video, subscribe to get recommended more videos. The reason why I'm doing this is because I founded Arbitrage Stalker, which is the best storefront stalking software on the market. So arbitragestalker.com, there's a link in the description. You can get your free trial today. And you'll see how the tool works. Like just watch my other videos, you'll figure it out. All right, so when it comes to working with a prep center, you are going to have two types of prep center to choose from. Now, before I actually get into that, you need to understand something. The prep center business is not an easy business at all. It's something that is really, really tricky to run, which is actually it's probably way more tricky to run at scale than you actually think. It's not an easy business at all. It's really, really hard to manage. It's a lot of headaches. Customers are not necessarily sending a ton of products. Like, customers may not be constant with the amount of products that they send. And if they're not sending a lot of products, your income is going down. So you always need to manage the amount of customers that you have to be able to make a decent living. And, you know, and the number of units that you're going to, like, it's really, really hard to manage, right? We're not going to get too deep into that, but just know that it's really, really hard to manage. Because of that, you have two types of prep center. On one end, you're going to have the small, the mom and pops, the small prep centers, mom and pops prep center, one person at the top, maybe 2 employees, 3 employees at most, but that are not working full-time all the time, that are working whenever they need it, right? That's going to be the first type of prep center. The second type of prep center is going to be huge prep centers that run huge operations, that are running at scale, that are big prep centers. And you are going to work differently with those two prep centers, and both of them have their pros and their cons, as I said, right? So working with a small prep center is actually cool because they have, you know, they have, if you do some volume, they can have some flexibility, you know, which is actually good for you. Flexibility with what they can do for you, flexibility with, you know, their turnaround time, all that stuff, and not always. The main issue that you are going to face with small mom and pop prep center is that you're not, like, your turnaround time is absolutely nuts. And I'm going to tell you right now, everybody is going to advertise 48 hours turnaround time, 2 business days turnaround time. Working with small prep centers, I'm telling you right now, it's not going to be true. It may be true sometimes, but most of the time, it's not going to be true, especially when things get really, really busy. The reason why, and this is something that you need to understand if you work with a small prep center. With a small prep center, it's easy to keep communication. That's one of the pros. It's easy to actually get in touch with them, work on some stuff, get an understanding of where your stuff is going, of your bill, all that stuff. Nothing is going to be obscure because they need your business, right? So the way they are going to work with you is actually different. Now, as I said, you know, the 48 turnaround time, a lot of the time you can actually forget about it. The reason why is because they need to be able to manage the amount of work that they are going to have, as I said in the beginning, the amount of work that they are going to have for the day or for the week, and the amount of sellers that they actually sign up. And some sellers may send 50 units one month, and then the next month 300 units, then the next month 10 units, then the month after that 500 units. And so, you know, if you have one seller like this that is not selling like consistently and that out of the blue actually send 1,000 units to this prep center, and like you have your 200 units waiting, things are going to be tricky. So this is why I'm saying it's hard to manage, right? However, if you work with huge prep centers that are working at scale, this is not necessarily something that you are going to need to deal with, right? Because the 48 hours turnaround time is going to be not observed, but they are going to actually give you 48 hours turnaround time because they have bigger operation. They're more flexible with this. Well, I actually said that small prep centers are going to be more flexible. Like they're going to be more flexible with some things, but like with the amount of work that they can actually give you, like with the labor that they can give you, big prep centers are going to be way easier to work with. They're going to be more flexible with that because they have the labor available and they will be able to give you 48 hours turnaround time. With the small prep centers, the issue is that, yeah, like they may not always have the labor available. So because of that, you know, if like one seller send a lot of stuff, and because like usually, you know, you're not always constant with the number of units that you send, they're not going to have the labor available, and so because of that, you're not going to have your 48 hours turnaround time. The thing that you need to understand, though, with with big prep centers, is that communication is going to be a little bit different, and you're not going to be treated as good, I would say, as a small prep center is going to treat you. No. The reason why I'm saying this, and when I'm saying treat it as good, small prep centers are going to do a lot for you. They may be able to do a lot for you, but like you need to understand that their process are not going to be as good as big prep centers, you know. And the main reason is because they're actually not running at scale. So to be honest, I believe that if you are just starting, it's probably better for you. Do not work with a small mom and pop prep center. Do not do that. Work with a big prep center, because with a small prep center, you're like a lot of those small prep centers are actually not going to checking that. For example, one dumping. They are not, when they receive your package, they are not going to check that you received every single unit. They are not going to have a system where they can actually put your order number, and so you can actually cross-check and see if you received everything. And so you're going to need to go through that stuff by yourself. And when you start ordering a ton of units, let's say that you have like 20 orders for 2,000 units, you know, reconciliation gets a little bit harder than if you actually work with a big prep center that have, when they have their software, when you can see for every single order that you placed, here's the number of units that you have, all that stuff. But the big thing is that big prep centers may have really, really dumb rules. Like, for example, if you've seen my video, my old prep center that wanted some 4-digit codes in the address of every single order that we placed, you know, while we can actually work with the order confirmation number, and we can just work with the shipping, the tracking for the shipping, you know. But that's going to be the two things that you're going to need to play with. In my opinion, you're new, go with a well-known big prep center. If you're not that new, build your own system, work with the prep center, and go with a small prep center. But if you are new, just go with a huge prep center. That way things will be more, you know, it will be easier to work with. You don't need to have that many internal process. And at the end of the day, I'm telling you, at the end of the day, work with a big prep center, because it's going to cost you less money than a small prep center. All right, so hopefully this video was helpful. If it was, leave a like, do all that YouTube stuff. I'll see you tomorrow for a new video. Thank you for watching.